What-ho, chaps, how the devil. Before I get started doing the obvious, i.e. talking shit about the upper crust twits that make up almost the entirety of this Extinction Rebellion, I have to give a quick shout out to Martin Smith because he let me know that he noticed Owen Jones finished his YouTube videos with the EastEnders music and promptly got his post removed by reporting it to the BBC. I don't normally like things like that because it sort of goes against my liberal sensibilities. I think everyone should be free to use whatever they want. But it is funny just to use the tools against them. Their own tools against them, these slimy little shitbags. And it was worth including because I just loved this sentence in the email he got back. It said, "Dear Mr. X, thank you for contacting us with your concerns regarding Owen Jones." Yes, we've all got concerns about Owen Jones, haven't we? We've all got concerns about Owen Jones. Anyone with any sense has got concerns about Owen Jones. Indeed, anyone who knows anything about communism has got concerns about Owen Jones, because if that jumped up little shit had even half the chance, he'd have 30 million people working in the salt mines. The little Hitler. Oh yeah, and that also reminds me, why not treat yourself to some Owen fucking Jones merchandise? Owen fucking Jones t-shirts. Owen fucking Jones phone skins. Even Owen fucking Jones home decor. Link in the description. Anyway, you'll notice I'm not subscribed to the Telegraph anymore. I subscribed for about a year because I felt like I should support centrist, normal, conservative media. But they then published this story by a posh Guardianista called Zoe Strimple. I think Sargon made a video about it years ago, but basically it sucked my zest for life and happiness out of my arsehole at such a rate I felt I had to cancel my subscription. It was just it was something that I felt strongly about. So thanks to Zoe, I don't have a Telegraph subscription anymore. Fuck 'em. I mean, just look at that sentence. Is it possible to shift a climate of intimidation, snide round the houses snitching, and mendacious manipulative use of serious accusations such as racism, hate-mongering, and being made to feel unsafe without simply becoming a magnet for awful alt-right lunatics? Lunatics? And who is this linked to? Philip Johnston, Alison Pearson, and Charles Moore. I don't know why. Maybe because he wrote, "Why is the National Trust still falling for Black Lives Matter?" Correctly so. So, yeah, apparently, if in any way you oppose Black Lives Matter because you're not a communist, it's actually because you're an awful alt-right lunatic. Again, I don't know how many people they think are in the alt-right in the UK. I think in the UK the figure's actually 0. But, whatever. So sorry, Zoe Strumpet. You've got the brains of a rocking horse, and I was forced to cancel my Telegraph subscription out of sheer good taste. Anyway, the story says, Extinction Rebellion staged profoundly disrespectful protest at Cenotaph on Armistice Day. Right? And I wanted to cover this because I have to give Boris, the fat albino, finally deserves some respect from me. You know me, I'll hold my hands up when I'm in the wrong. I called him a jellyfish. He may be starting to evolve a spinal column, right? He's like the distant ancestors of the jellyfish that set their first tentative feet onto the sand. Maybe he's evolving into a creature of some description. Who knows? But he was good enough to condemn it. Yeah, and obviously their reef goes above everybody else's. Just shameless self-promotion from a bunch of communists who, either don't know that everything they stand for pisses on the graves of our soldiers. The people who gave their lives for what? What predominantly, if you were to ask any student of history, what did our soldiers give their lives for in Nazi Germany? Running up Juno Beach, what was it? It was freedom of speech, freedom of thought, freedom of deed. 3 things that these fascist, authoritarian lefties don't know the first thing about. It has been condemned by the Prime Minister for a profoundly disrespectful protest. Yep, strong words, Boris, and I agree entirely for a change, you scruffy twat. Where it's declared that climate change means war. Several protesters, including a Forces veteran, gathered at the Cenotaph on Whitehall. A Forces veteran who was so far in the rear he had to send his laundry forwards. Yeah, let's just get that out the way straight away. The group unfurled a banner saying honour their sacrifice, climate change means war, and the wreath was removed within half an hour. A spokesman for Boris Johnson said the Cenotaph is a memorial to those who fought and died to preserve all our freedoms. On today of all days, when we join together to pay tribute to our dead, this action was profoundly disrespectful. It was also criticised by the British Legion and Tobias Ellwood, a former defenceman. I absolutely hate Tobias Ellwood as well, so let's not talk anymore about Tobias. Out of respect for the dead, I won't give Tobias Ellwood 10 minutes of neat shit, because he does deserve it. Self-serving weasel of a man that he is. Donald Bell, a 64-year-old veteran who protested, said, I took action knowing I would be criticised. Well, Donald, you're not as daft as you look. And Andrew Boy, a Scottish Conservative. Way, they're a rarity, aren't they? Rare as rocking horse shit, them. Scottish Conservatives. They protest against David Attenborough. Today they hijacked the 2-minute silence at the Cenotaph. Extinction Rebellion do great damage to the debate on climate change. They alienate sympathetic voices and do nothing to solve the issue they care about. Exactly right. All I will say is I just want to make this video to give Boris a chuck up, right? If Boris had shown the same defence of Winston Churchill, the man who we wrote a bastard biography about, if he'd shown even half a spine when it come to defending the man that fought the literal Nazis, I wouldn't hate him as much as I do. I wouldn't criticise him as vehemently as I do. But he deserves it. I mean, even this, Boris Johnson is annoying because he's an idiot. The current Conservative politicians are idiots that don't know when to pick a battle. Churchill, even this is a strange thing for him to take a stance on. You know, because joking aside, they do have the freedom to do what they did. Because again, if you understand the sacrifice our soldiers made for us, and have always made for us, it is the right for people to do things we disagree with. Obviously, I take the piss out of them because my channel's more comedy than serious political content. But they have got the right to do it. And I've got the right to call them arseholes. It's fine. It's just really weird to me, again, that he doesn't know how to pick a battle. Like he's put more effort in to slagging these people off who did relatively respectfully do the little protest. You know, they didn't try and set the flags on fire like that little twat I talked about last week, did they? They didn't want to destroy ancient revered monuments like the fuckers that were pulling the statues down. And yet for some inane reason he's been more vehement against this than he was against pulling down the Churchill statues. Like, it makes no sense to me. In fact, you know what? I've talked myself out of it. Fuck off, Boris Johnson, you thick twat. Yeah, alright, I've won an argument with myself. I've changed my mind. I am rescinding support for you, Boris Johnson. Let's finish with something fun. When the rubber hit the road for the Extinction Rebellion movement and they found out that the working class doesn't support them after all.
Other news now, and commuters have clashed with Extinction Rebellion protesters who were trying to stop tube trains running in London this morning. One activist was dragged from the roof of a train and pulled to the ground, where passengers surrounded him and shouted at him. 8 people have been arrested, as Richard Lister reports.
We're here at Canning Town Station.
Canning Town Station at 6:30 this morning, and these protesters were about to push the patience of London commuters to the limit. Some were hostile almost immediately.
How long you stand up there for? We've got to go to work.
But over the next 20 minutes, the anger grew and station staff were overwhelmed as some on the platform took matters into their own hands. Some lashed out at the protesters. Others tried to protect them.
Some lashed out, honestly. That guy, who you can visibly see him kick a man in the face there, trying to stop him, look.
Some on the platform took matters into their own hands.
Seriously, If the staff hadn't have intervened, there would have been pieces of Extinction Rebellion protesters scattered across the station. I think that would have made my point for me quite eloquently. But yeah, anyway, that's enough for today. I thought it was funny. I really did talk myself around in my own video there. It's just making the point I made last week once again. They are so stupid. They do not pick a good argument. They didn't see the Marcus Rashford debacle. Anyone with any political nuance whatsoever should have known, hang on lads, it's only 40 million quid. It's going to be a massive PR disaster. Let's just get on top of it and give him the money because it's a drop in the ocean. But they don't have the nuance. They pick the worst hill to die on ever. Everything they do is incompetent and ridiculous. The things they should refuse to budge for, the things they should resolutely stand firm for, they never do. They instantly cave. And the things that should always be willing to meet people halfway on because it makes political sense, because they can read the general public's mood, they fucking act like Kim Jong. Like, it's beyond parody at this point. So Boris, you are such a twat, you're even making me an idiot. I start off trying to defend you, and by the end of it, I've come to the inevitable conclusion that you still are in fact a complete mong, and you should be running something more akin to your talents, like a model train set or a fucking tuck shop. You useless twat.